Check, check. Check, check. All right, that sounds good. Let me first start off by saying, before we get into all of the crypto news and Bitcoin and alt season, I've seen a couple of your comments about my microphone. And I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the feedback. New to this whole thing, I did, funny enough, as I was getting near 1,000 subs, I did get a new microphone. And I got a comment on one of my first videos before this week about how the sound was low, and I messed with the input, dialed it up to max, and still had the issue. So I did a little testing on my own, and if I hold the microphone right up to my mouth, it's one of those mics that has a little filter piece in front of it, and I think it's filtering out too much. So I'm going to start and end the live stream by just pointing that out, saying thank you. I appreciate the feedback. As y'all know, I'm doing this for free, doing this for me and you, just sharing what knowledge I have. Love that we're already growing a community here, and y'all are already helping me out. So I appreciate it. Anyways, let's jump into it. Welcome to Market Psychology 101, where we look for value in the markets when there's fear and are cautious when there is greed. We have a lot to get into. We had this week Fed rate cuts yet again. Did a special video on that. We've had some intense crypto price action. My God, look at this. Crypto was in this ascending channel, and it got to the bottom and then wicked down to the 50-day moving average. Let me get a sip of coffee. That's pretty good. And there's just a lot to get into. So let's start out with some of the charts. Fear and greed. You know I love talking about fear and greed. We are down in fear on CNN. Almost extreme fear. So look for opportunities. Same with pie vesting. Down in fear. Funny enough, and we've been talking about this for a little bit, the stock market has been somewhat front-running crypto just by a week or so. And so I would not doubt if crypto has more fear. Yes, this is live, Crispy. Welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Glad you're here. So because the stock market has front-run crypto a little bit, at least it has been, I would not be surprised to see this go down, especially with Bitcoin moving down through its channel. It would make sense that we'd at least get into neutral territory. And looking at crypto overall, you can see we're in this little minor downtrend, started to tick up. Now we're ticking back down again. I want to see crypto stay up higher for longer in this greed area and not just have a spike like we did in March, where that was the top and then we went down and sideways for 6 months. The one comparison we can draw to, and I really wish the data went further back before 2018 because 2017 was great, is that when we stayed up high for long in greed for a few months, that the price eventually went up to its first peak, its first new all-time high, 65K alt season. So that is what I'm hoping for. Are you going to go through miners if they are worth buying now or not? Yes, I am, Crispy. I will definitely be going through that. And let's refresh, because I'm sure with all this price action that's been going on, that miners might be at a deal. Let's first just run through rate cut stuff, and I have some good charts to show you. So a couple things to note. Yes, the Fed cut rates. And the reason markets dropped, at least the narrative out there, is because the Fed, for the first time, said they're not going to continue aggressively cutting, maybe a few more cuts, but inflation is starting to sort of come up again, and so they're going to chill with the rate cuts. What that means is banks are not going to be able to borrow money for as cheap as they hope. And so there's a little bit of pricing that in and just front running of the inflation. You can look at the US 10-year or the inflation data. I'm not going to get into that here, but just know that's the narrative. Here's the thing, though, that there's been similar narratives in the past on rate cuts where there's a little bit of a dip and then we go back up. So I'm looking at this as a buy the dip scenario. And as far as alt season's concerned, there's two things to look at. And I really should have downloaded this chart. I meant to. I forgot. I apologize. There's two things to consider. One of two scenarios. We have this presidential pump, inauguration dump. This fits in with the crypto 4-year cycle. What we have been experiencing late in the post-halving year. You can see here, November 2013, December 2017, November 21, even though alt season was here. That these have been the tops, 4-year cycles. Ethereum overall and altcoins tend to do better the first half of the year. So something's got to give. Are we going to have a 4-year cycle? Are we going to have alt season 4 years from the first time? I don't know. We'll see. But the Fed has been cutting by 25 basis points. That tends to be a non-recessionary environment. And if they pause and raise, I think we'll be looking at something similar to 98, where they paused, raised again, and then in 2001, when they were cutting large and fast, that was the peak and the time to take some profits. We're not going to get into the PE ratio too much. Let's get into this. I had a couple charts I wanted to show you guys. This one, for example, I think just macro perspective, and this lines up with the 4-year cycle as well. If you're looking at bottoms, and the market bottoms have been in the second year of the presidencies, and that lines up with what we see here. You'd see second year of the presidency, typically the lowest returns. If we're going by 4-year cycles from bottoms as well, 2026 right now seems to be a year where that might be bottom buying time for the next cycle. Of course, the last bottoms were 2022, 2018, late 2018, early 2019, so 4 years. And then 4 years before that, where was 2014? 2014, I guess 2015. So you guys see what I'm saying. It's about that amount of time between. Here's something I want you all to keep in perspective. Whether you're watching live, like Crispy's doing, and 2 other people. We have 3 in the live stream. I love and appreciate all of you. I don't care if we have 0 in the live stream or 10. I'm still going to give you the same energy. Something to keep in perspective, and this is what I talk about as a market psychologist, is you got to be ready for these moments. And we're going to take a look at moving averages on our favorite miners, our favorite altcoins, Bitcoin. I've been in crypto since 2017. You have to expect that there can be 10, or let's just say 15, that's the lows here, 15 to 40% drops at any time. 2017 was a crazy good time. But I remember laughing with another person I knew. We were talking about crypto, just getting drinks, talking about different altcoins and stuff. And we would laugh every time there's a 40% drop. We're like, oh, there's another one. There's another one. Look at all these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 drops of 30 to 40%. And people are freaking out over 15. And so I feel battle tested by 2017. Really, all this stuff, I don't care. The 30% drop in August, the whole yen carry trade, I was like, all right, great. More alts at a discount. Again, we are looking for value in the market when there's fear. We have fear right now. So please keep this in perspective. Chips and salsa, welcome back, dude. Damn, I didn't buy the dip this morning. I'm just waiting for another dip, hopefully. Yeah, I was looking at the small time frame on the crypto chart, and then I had to go on Twitter, now X, to see what the sentiment was. And there's already people screaming, V recovery, V bottom recovery. Maybe. Not yet confirmed, but people love saying V recovery. And, there's so many damn V recoveries. Is it truly a V recovery? I won't go that far yet. It needs to do a lot more. You can look at the COVID crash and recovery. That's a V recovery. But this one, not yet. You can't see Bitcoin got down to the 50-day moving average. We'll get to that. We did fear and greed. You guys know about altcoins. We're looking for dominance to really drop. I have an interesting thing to show you about dominance percentage. Don't let me forget. Alt season, guys, it's just another higher low. So all the things I see, not financial advice, tells me we're in a buy the dip scenario. And so I'm looking at alts. I have extra money in my budget. I might throw some of that in. As far as Bitcoin, you can see we're right in the middle. However, I've talked about this to death. Each halving, we go up a color zone in the rainbow chart, and each peak, we're going down. So I'm still looking for somewhere around orange. Maybe Bitcoin, you can see the bottom of the orange band around 150K. That's the 2618 fib. I'm looking at 150K, give or take, as a peak. And yes, we're going to get into my AT&T. All right. Shout out. We're going to get into miners. By the way, for any of you watching, listening, if there are any crypto miners or altcoins available on Coinbase or Robinhood that you would like for me to share some TA charting on, comment below. I'm going to be going through Mara, Riot, CleanSpark, Wolf, and Cypher. Those are the most popular, but I'll go into any of these other ones. Maybe I'll do Bitfarms. I'll go through any of these other ones if you request it. Again, I'll be going through Ethereum, Link, Doge, XRP, but I'll be going through any other altcoins if you request, if they're on Robinhood or Coinbase. If it's some Solana scam, shitcoin, sorry, I'm probably just going to pass on that. I don't want to promote that either. So I've already been seeing way too much retail losing money in those. I'd like to take a look at Sweet. We'll do that. All right, let's start off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we're in this ascending channel. We're still in it, but we wick down to the 50-day moving average. We're just about. Something to keep in mind here. This feels similar to me in August, the whole yen carry trade, if you remember that. We were in this downward channel. All of a sudden, this yen carry trade unwind. Hedge funds were borrowing the yen against the dollar because it was cheaper to buy assets. All of a sudden, when the yen started to be raised in their rates, that fell apart. We were in the channel, but we did wick down almost to a lower fib. This isn't the right fib here. I have it off log scale. It feels kind of similar to me. Candle body wise, on the daily, we are still in the channel. I'm still waiting for a breakout up and out of there from the top. So right here, still fake out territory, but possible dip buying. Just going over to the S&P, let's take a look. How are the stock markets reacting? For all the Armageddon, doom and gloom out there, what moving averages are we at? Well, in this bull trend, you can see outside of October of last year, let's just look at this year. The S&P is its best value gone down to the 100 and almost to 200. Again, yen carry trade time. That's what this was. We had a 10% correction, 30% in crypto. But otherwise, it's the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average at our deepest value. We're still in a bull trend. So I am looking at this 100-day moving average or in here. If you're a dollar cost average person, these are the times you want to look for deals. I'm just saying. Another chart I want you all to consider, it's the stocks, percent of stocks above the 200-day moving average. We're at recent lows. Okay, could it go lower? Yeah, we have this massive trend line. Of course, things could go lower. But overall, these are things I want to help you guys look at it in different ways. It's easy to be excited when the news is exciting. You want to be excited during times like now because now you're going to get better deals. But look at this. VIX is spiking. Yes, that sucks, but do know when the VIX is spiking, better deals are in the market. Gonna sip some coffee. We have a request for AVAX as well. All right, yeah, I'll look into AVAX and SWE. I want to show you guys, it just for perspective. Think of how well alts just did, whether you were in the right altcoin or not. We had about 11% drop from the peak in alt season. Bitcoin dominance going up, and it could keep going up. We've double peaked in the past before alt season truly happens. But I want you to just consider this. From where the bottoms are, the last couple times we've had alt season, let me take off these moving averages. Way too messy. The last couple times we had alt season, okay, mid 30%, low 40%. You could call this a little bit of an extra move and do a horizontal trend line or an ascending trend line. I don't care. But something to keep in perspective is, again, we just talked about this being around 11%. Look how much of a drop this would be. We're talking about possibly, give or take, around 3 times more of a more powerful of a move than we just had. Keep that in perspective. This move was great. Okay, we saw alts like XRP, Doge, and others rip up, and that was wonderful. We could still see at least 3 times that amount. Just something to keep in mind. I don't know about you guys, but my alts, they're still at higher prices than they were months ago. And I was worried, not going to lie, I was worried that if we get an early top, I might not have any more time to dollar cost average in. I might be done buying and just be looking at taking profits. Now I can, I might be done buying and not be able to dollar cost average in. That's what I meant to say. So now I am excited about some more possible opportunities. Let's go over to Ethereum. Ethereum, you can see here, just we broke out of there, but then where did it come down to? We're not on log. We got to be on log. We're not taking a look at price targets yet. Okay, look at this. Ethereum, where did it come down to? The 786, right here at about 33.60. If it gets very bearish, look at this ascending trend line. If Ethereum gets anywhere near, and I'm not saying it's going to, but like let's say things really start to get bad, this would be a bottoming area where I would not miss. Ethereum at the 618 at around 2,500, this ascending trend line. Not saying it's going to get there. We may very well just get support here and then start to rip up further. Okay, so there were some breakouts being teased and tested. There's going to be pullbacks. That's what I'm looking for. Stuff like Chainlink, again, if we just look at fibs, you'll probably see that these moves went up to a fib and then down for support. Exactly my point. We got up near the 786, couldn't quite get there and take it, make it into support. So where does it come down to? The fib below it at the 618. Again, it may go down. It may have a 50% retracement or something down to 16. That's fine. Sorry for the sipping noises. Last few times I've done live streams and I have coffee, it's been getting cold. I've not been drinking it just because I talk too much. I need my coffee. So this is what I'm looking at. Let's go over to Doge. Remember how I was talking about that 786 for a while? Doge, 42 cents. Watch out. Doge, 42 cents. Because in the past, 2017 altcoins, many of them only topped out at their 786, give or take. But I said, watch out, 41, 42 cents. Well, that's what happened. Doge right now getting support at the 618. I'd be, for Doge, I'd be willing to be patient and see if it comes down to this 19-cent level. But it might just bottom here, 26 cents. Crypto golfer, I think history shows that if you buy stocks when the VIX is above 30, hold for a year, you never lost money. Yeah, pretty much. Exactly my point. I do think, however, I'd be interested to see if you are correct on that with this one, with this VIX spike. How is the market going to be later in 25? I don't know, but I am expecting increased volatility, recession coming later on. Whether it's 25 or 26, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. That was a great dip buying opportunity. But I do think we are still like very extended. And I don't know when the recession and the downturn will start, but that's something I'd be watching for. What was I looking at? Doge. Let's next look at XRP. How's XRP doing? It was almost to the 1618 at $3. So XRP holding up pretty decently here. It lost a 20-day moving average as support. Now it has support at its former cycle all-time high. I'm talking about 2021. 2021, it got up to this price. And that's where it's holding right now. And if it gets below, I wouldn't be buying XRP at all here. Well, you guys know what I think of XRP. But bias aside, I wouldn't be buying it here or here. I'd be waiting for a bigger move. You see how it spiked up here? 93 cents. That's the area I would wait for, personally. And you guys remember, I was saying, even though I'm not buying XRP, I thought it was good value down here if you liked it. And hey, if you got XRP around 50 cents, you made nearly a 6x. That's awesome. So I'll never hate on people making money. Government shutdown news can send us back down. Yeah, that'd be something to watch for. Crispy, something I discovered was instead of holding Bitcoin miners for so long to get a 2-3x, I could just hodl crypto, and I got the same in a few months. Yeah, and that's the thing. We never know what's going to run and when. It's all risk. Let's get into some miners. Actually, no, you guys have requests. You guys are here. I want to get to yours first. We never know what's going to run and when. Who says crypto miners have to do as well as they've done in the past? I believe that. Now, as far as my crypto portfolio, I'm half doing miners, half doing altcoins. But I have to have a plan in case miners don't run like altcoins do. I think they will. I don't know when. I'm putting my money in there, but we'll see. Hopefully, miners don't let me down. Is this the best SWE chart we have? There we go. All right. So let's take a look at SWE. All right. So here, I'm just taking a look at this bottom. Hard to get these spikes down here. So around 60 cents and recently got up to $5. Damn. So yeah, that's a pretty good move. That's about, an 8x? 8 times 6, 48. All right. Yeah, somewhere around an 8x from the very bottom. But you can see here we have our fib off log. Okay, the 1618 looks like it's coming to the 1618 for support. We do have these higher lows, but look at that rejection off the 2618. So you want to see that support hold, but if it doesn't, next area, some good price action here. If you wanted to be patient, you could wait for 217. Let's add on our moving averages again. These are important. So, yeah, right. Isn't that funny how you're like, why is it stopping here? Is it because price action in the past? And then you add on the moving average. You're like, oh, there it is. 50-day moving average. So if the 1618 isn't able to hold, and it looks like we got some strong moving average and supports here, but if not, I'd be taking a look at great discount value down here, somewhere around 240, give or take, if you wanted to get more. And let's see, did more than 3x, actually sold all my miners at the top a few days ago. Good job, man. Always happy to see people making profit. So happy for you. That's awesome. Thoughts on AVAX? Let's get to AVAX, Mr. Chips and Salsa. Chips and Salsa, you're one of my favorites, just so you know. Thank you for being here. AVAX, let's take a look. We have these lower highs. Could probably draw a trend line down here maybe. Sometimes you look at these charts, and if you think you see something, you chart it. See something, say something. All right, so a little bit of a wedge going on. All right, a little bit of a fake out move as well. You can see briefly, even though it's a lower high, it briefly got above that 618. And then kind of a fake out, came back down. And now it's at the 0.5. I mean, if I were an AVAX bro, I wouldn't mind it at this price. So $36 here. You got the fib, you got the 100, and look at that, nearly wick to the 200-day moving average. Not quite. I wouldn't hate dollar cost averaging here. But again, if it goes lower, you have to be ready for that. If it gets to the 382 or this trend line, anywhere in the mid-high 20s, you got to love getting more there then. So budget accordingly. Yeah, it touched the 200-day EMA. I should have bought, man. Well, here's the thing. During alt season, if this is an alt that runs hard, ask yourself this. Are you going to care if you bought it at 33.30 or 37.66? I got a cat right in front of my computer now. Of course, it has to later. Sorry, 1 second. I got to be a mean dad to my cat. I'll pet you later. You're not going to care if you got it at this price or this price. I'm just saying. If this is an alt that's going to 4x, 10x, whatever, you're not going to care. So it's nice that it got near there, but we can't win them all. And unless we have moving averages, they're moving. They're hard to get. They're hard to snipe. The fibs, however, we can add buy orders on Coinbase, Robinhood. We can add buy orders for that price, and sometimes we get lucky. So that would be something to keep an eye on right there. And just for fun, you are not getting in front of my computer again. God, this is a clown show right here. My cat is saying hi. My cat's saying hi to you guys. One day I'll get a camera when I'm a little less self-conscious, and I'll be more of a personality. I think for these things, I don't know. I haven't gone there yet. Doesn't matter. Let's take a look at some of these price targets. We have the 2618. I'm always looking at these two, the 231 to 370. And where are we at right now? That'd be about a 10x of the 2618. So that makes sense. What would be that market cap for AVAX? I know AVAX is one of the best ones, so it's got to be way up here. AVAX. So its market cap, 16 billion roughly. So a 10x, 160 billion. Maybe. I don't know if I see it quite getting there. This is just my bias personally. I'd love if it gets there for you. But I would be looking at something more around the 100 billion area at best. And 15 times 15 times 6 would be around 90 billion. 90 to 100, so a 6x. What would be a 6x times 40? 240? Where's 240? I'm talking out loud here. Look at that. I externally process so you guys can hear my brain work. And again, you don't have to agree with my thought process here. But a 6x or around 100 billion would be this 1618. So if we get a big alt season and you get anywhere near that, I would be looking at profits. I think your cat says to buy fart coin. It's a sign to buy Popcat. Yeah, and there's other hilarious shit coins out there. Shark Cat. God, I cannot touch any of those. I'm not gambling on any of those. All the people that lost money in Hawk Tua, I don't feel bad for them at all. Let's take a look at Link. X-Sync. I got you, bro. I love Link. We talked about this not long ago, but basically got up to the 786. Wasn't able to get it, take it, make it in support. It's down here. Touched the 50-day moving average. Okay, we're seeing a lot of that going on with these alts, 50-day moving average. Same with Bitcoin. I'm willing to be patient and wait for 16. If you dollar cost average here, sure. But I would look down here, possibly, excuse me, as a can't miss area. But here's not bad either. If you don't want to miss out, 6x would be awesome. I'm selling most of mine at 100 because I'm not greedy. Good. You're smart. Link is great too. I want to have 50-50 AVAX Link for the bull run. Let's get into altcoins. I promised altcoins. And again, if there's any other cryptos on Robinhood or Coinbase. I don't want to even promote any of this scam stuff out there. I don't want to put that out there. I feel like that's not the type of channel I'm running. We can look at the charts, but really the whole reason for charting is to get a competitive advantage, and I don't see competitive advantages in those chart-wise because they're so manipulated. Mara. What's Mara doing? Well, lower high, still in the wedge, fake out, just like an altcoin we just talked about, AVAX. It's like the same thing. So it's at the 100-day. Don't hate Mara here. And if it gets anywhere near 18, but again, we're pinching pennies. If Mara continues, and we're talking about this, look at the peak in late 2017. Cool. Look at the peak in 21, or even during the alt season time. Cool. If we continue on that trend, Mara could be getting up to 140. So what would that be? A 7x? 7x, what would that be for market cap? 7 times 7 is 49, so in the $40 billion range. Okay, that's where I would be looking at Mara. So if you like Mara at all, it's one of the best miners. And something I want to keep reminding you of, the reason I love miners is we can actually see their balance sheets and have some transparency. An altcoin, a miner, I think to watch out for is Course. Core Scientific, new altcoin, $4 billion market cap. I don't love its balance sheet is because the asset to liability ratio. So marketwatch.com, shout out them. Go to financials, click balance sheet. I'm just looking at the asset to liability ratio. And we go down. This is just, we can get way more in the weeds than this. But just look at total current assets, 1 billion. Oh my God. Somewhat of a positive trend. That's good. Total assets, 2 billion. What's the liabilities? 33 million, 375 million. And this trend is up 2 billion. This trend was up then down. So that's a good ratio. You want those positive ratios. So I like this. Whereas if I take a look at Coors is new. Coors has me worried. It's one of those where I'm like, man, I won't buy it this cycle, but next cycle, depending on how far it goes down, there's parts of the company I like as far as the research I've done, but I don't like some of this. I want to see some of this change. Total current assets, 97 million. Total assets, 712. Total current liabilities, way higher, 488. Total liabilities, 1.3 billion. Negative ratio. You have to look at these things. So Mara, you saw that positive ratio. Coors comes out fairly recently. Okay. And sure, there's a lot of research out there, but look, this came out around the ETF approval time. So I kind of look at this one the way I look at Cypher last cycle. Let's get into Cypher. Cypher, when it came out, look where it came out when Bitcoin was making new all-time highs from 2017. Okay, this is December 2020. Came out at 10, got to 15, and then fell off a freaking cliff. Now, I like Cypher, and I like Coors. 97% down. Crazy. I like Cypher, I like Coors. Nothing against Coors. But the balance sheet needs to turn around, and I'm not buying it at an absolute premium when we have other miners with positive ratios of assets to liabilities that are cheaper. That's the way I'm looking at it. All right, we got some more comments. Link is, we did that one. Was I right about miner stocks doing well in post 7 years, or am I full of shit? I think you're right about that. I mean, as far as the data goes, let's take a look at Riot, for example. It's not the top one, but let's take a look at post 7 years. When has Riot done well? Post 7 year, 2017? Yeah, this is an altcoin. It's not an altcoin literally, but it behaves just like one. So no different. Let's see. Is government shutdown good or bad? Can someone explain? Crispy, here's my 2 cents. There's a couple ways to look at it. Is it good for us, investor-minded people? Sure, because then obviously it's going to be bad for real people, our neighbors, and that sucks. I wish they would figure this crap out and quit running the debt up so drastically high. Okay, I'm glad politicians are trying to do better about handling deficit issues. All good with that, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. Sometimes they have to threaten shutdowns, and there might be a little bit of a shutdown. In the past, I've seen these things get corrected, and then we're all fine and good. Again, here on this channel, though, as an investor, we want to look for value in the markets when there's opportunity. And in a shutdown, there's going to be fear, and that can be something we look at buying at lower moving averages and at lower fibs. So a couple ways to think about it. All right. Boom, post-halving year, damn, maybe I should buy some miners in my 401k IRA. Chips and salsa, as soon as I read that, I was like, maybe wait. Just because, God, I don't want to fudge you out, but when I'm looking at what to put in an IRA or stocks I buy in general, I ask myself this very simple question. Well, a couple of questions. Is this stock going to be around in 10 years? Can I confidently say that? I can say that for stocks like Microsoft, Apple, Pepsi, Black & Decker, for example. I don't feel that way about miners. Not saying they can't, but that's an extra risk. So, yeah, DCA, of course. I like investing in miners, but it's more of a, it's more educated, fun gambling playtime with me. With stocks, I am buying and holding for a long freaking time. My goal for dividends, I'd like to be getting thousands of dollars per month dividend-wise. That's my goal down the line. But as far as crypto goes, I'm trying to get good value and sell great value. I'm trying to get the great value and then sell the, how would I put this here? Sell the peaks. Still drinking my coffee. You know what I'm trying to say. Let's get into Riot. Again, guys, it's funny. Just put things in perspective. You see all this Armageddon and shit out there online. Sorry for the language. And when we look at a chart, what do we see? In a channel, got to a fib, came down to a fib. Got extended, came down to moving averages. It's that simple. So here, I like Riot here for dollar cost averaging. Look at all that support. The 50, 100, 200, the 382. I love Riot here. I might actually buy some. But if it gets down lower, I'm not going to feel bad about that. I'm going to buy more if it gets down here. Do not buy anything if you're not willing to buy it lower. If you're not willing to buy it lower, you shouldn't buy in the first place. And then also tells me you're not budgeting in a smart way. Please set a budget. Don't overextend yourself. Random aside, talked to a coworker this week, and she sadly was buying Bitcoin around the top in 21, the first top, Super Bowl commercial, all that, because her husband thought that, hey, it's the future, it's going to do great. She was holding out a loss. She's finally in profit. That's part of the reason I made this channel. I hate seeing good, hardworking people, friends, family, get scammed by all the BS out there. That's why it's good to remove bias as much as we can. Even though we're biased creatures, we're emotional. And be patient for those deeper values. Clean Spark. Look at that. Got up to the 786 fib. Got up to the trend line. Wasn't able to get above it. Break out of this wedge. Let's move this over a little bit. Okay. We have this giant wedge forming. I just want to see, where does this all coil up? April of 25. You can see that at the bottom. Are we going to have a 4-year cycle from alt season, April, May, like we did last time? I mean, look at this. April, May. Are we doing a 4-year alt season cycle from here? Maybe. Double peaks? I don't know. But as far as Clean Spark, look at this. It's near that trend line. I might buy some Clean Spark. I think these look great. Now, here was the peak in 21. This would concern me. Where was the peak in 2017, 2018? Somewhere around 50. So hopefully this turns around, starts doing more positive. Could Clean Spark be one that explodes? Gets to 30 to 50 billion? Let's take a look at this here. If Clean Spark did a 10x, got around 33 billion, and price was at around 111. Where's the 111? It's right near the 2618. So the 2618, it's near this peak back here in September 2018. That would be my max target where I must take profits if I buy Clean Spark. So I like Clean Spark here. Hey, we got 15 people. Welcome, everyone. If there are any altcoins on Coinbase or Robinhood you would like for me to take a look at in the charts, please comment them below. Also taking a look at miners right now because, as you see, they act like altcoins. But man, Clean Spark, look at when it topped the last cycle, December 2020. It didn't top in alt season. It topped as Bitcoin was starting to break out. Something to keep in mind. Have price targets, guys. Have price targets and have backup plans if your price targets don't hit. Also, look at the orange areas. It's just areas to possibly take profits. Charts don't always work great where everything's topping together. Okay, so do have price targets where you can withdraw in case something like this happens. Next, let's take a look at Cypher, even though we kind of looked at it before. We'll take a harder look at it now, Cypher and Wolf. Cypher, still in this ascending channel. Scrolling a little too fast there. Between moving averages, it's right here in the middle of this channel. I don't hate dollar cost averaging here, but if you wanted to be more patient, get it at the 200-day at around 480. That's a great value there. So you can see where the 200-day moving average is. It's been a great area to buy. If it did come down to the 618, I would say that's a can't miss area to buy for Cypher. But it still is yet to hold and conquer the 786. Let's take a look at Wolf. Terra Wolf. Terra Wolf. I was interested to see how this would look. So we were talking about how Terra Wolf has been slowly coiling up. Is it getting ready to have this big blow off top? You can see my amazing artwork. But now it's kind of breaking underneath that. So maybe it goes sideways for a little bit. You can see it's coming down to those moving averages. Terra Wolf has moved very strong, very quick. In August, when it had that big drop, because this is kind of feeling sentiment-wise like August a little bit. Look at that, 57% drop. Where would a 40% drop put us? I'm trying to be conservative. 40 to 50 down here. So if Terra Wolf, if you love Terra Wolf and you're looking to dollar cost average on the way up at good value, you got to be eyeing $6 or less. The 100-day moving average to down here. That's a bad number, right? There we go. That changed. Let's take a look at, there was one of these that was looking pretty juicy before, price-wise. Yeah, Bitfarms. Nice deep value. Now that deep value got deeper. And so all I'm saying is this, guys. If you like any of these may be some of our last opportunities to get in before some of these explode. And so you got whatever stocks, cryptos you're in, just pay attention to them once a week, once every other week. These are times of deep value where you got to put your money where your mouth is and be okay with whatever happens. So here we are seeing deals in the market. Why? There's fear. So good opportunities right now. Did I miss Mara? Yes, you did. But that's okay. I'll go back to it. Mara, top Bitcoin miner. Again, keep in mind its market cap, 7 billion, give or take. And a little fake out above the wedge. Came down right in the middle here at around 20. And we talked about being at 7 billion, that if it were to go up, and you see where these peaks are on this trend line, if it were to go up and hit that trend line for a peak somewhere around 140, okay, let's just say 140 conservatively speaking, so that's a 7x. Where would a 7x times the market cap be? In the 40 billions. And I've been talking about how last cycle miners got at best to the 20 to 30 billion dollar range. This time I'm looking 25 to 50. So that would be my top price target. Not that I can't go higher. Daily or weekly, bro, I'm staring at the 1 minute chart. Get away from the 1 minute chart, man. Come on, what are you doing? That's a great way to give yourself anxiety. I'm on the daily and weekly. I'm not, here's the thing with 1 minute charts and all that, guys. Here on the channel, we're trying to use emotion as an indicator, not a decision maker. This is why I'm not a trader, by the way. I'm an investor / trade investor. I want this to be fun. I want this to be enjoyable. 1 minute charts, trading, all this stuff, scalping, that emotionally, that's hard for most people to handle. So do yourself a favor, try to have some perspective. And if you're feeling anxious, step away. Step away for a day, go on a hike, meditate. Got to do those things because, again, I'm going to throw that actual psychology lessons at you guys. Your frontal lobe of your brain is the last area of your brain to fully develop by your mid-20s. Your limbic system, the emotional part of your brain, is developing before you're even born and developing big time. That's why babies are so emotional. They do that to get our attention and our care. And so it's instinctive to be emotional and to gravitate towards those emotions. You can't use emotion as a decision maker. So have a plan and strictly follow through on your plan. The more practice you have doing this, the better you will feel. And I'm just saying from experience, when I actually follow my plan and strategy and I'm staying within my budget, staying within my plan, not letting emotions take over, when I'm, for example, we're here at Mara, when I'm dollar cost averaging in weekly buy signals, moving averages, fibs, when I do that, my portfolio shows me 99% of the time that was the right thing to do. But when I get excited about some altcoin my friend texts me about, and I'm like, sure, I'll throw in 100. More often than not, I lose money on those, at least in the near and medium term. Not that I can't in the long run, but I usually don't see the benefits when I'm making those impulsive, emotional decisions. So again, it's hard to do, but that's why we have moving averages. That's why we have fibs. That's why we have buy-sell signals. I'll share all my indicators I use, okay? I don't want to give credit. That's why dollar cost average in. This is a great one. Stochastic RSI. When it bottoms out and starts to flip up, blue above orange, the bottom, great time to dollar cost average. Just make your own plan and stick to it. Now that Mara, Riot, and CleanSpark are selling convertible bonds, do you think they'll be more conservative with the diluting? If that's true, I would imagine so. I would imagine so if that is true. I need to research that myself. What are your thoughts about selling and rebuying your crypto just to reduce capital tax gain for the year? Couple thoughts on that. One, I'm not selling now. I've seen this happen to people where they become more of a trader / trade investor and they sell. Anytime you sell That's a taxable event. But what I've seen is people rotate. They sell and then they buy back in, and then they don't have money for taxes the following year. So rule of thumb, and this is just generally speaking, it's somewhere about, if you're taking profits within a year of buying, just imagine a third to half of those profits going to taxes. If you are able to buy and hold for more than a year, then the max is around 20%, 22%, I forget. So just factor that in when you're taking profits. Don't rotate everything back in, because you will have to pay taxes every time you sell. Also, be careful of, let's take this off here. Also, be careful of the taxes in general, what they tax on for profits. Sometimes they tax you overall on what you sold and don't factor in at the price you buy. Just something to be careful about with upcoming taxes. They tried doing that to me a few years back. What are your thoughts? Okay, I just read that. So did I answer your question? Did I talk around it? What are your thoughts about selling and rebuying your crypto? Yeah, I don't think that would reduce capital gains, as I'm thinking more about that. Because the best way to reduce capital gains is by buying and holding for longer. That's why any of these that I'm buying, I've been doing my best to get in at these prices. You know, look at this, October 23. I was buying in October 23. I was buying November of 22, so a little bit back here. I was buying big in those times, hoping that we get another give or take 4-year cycle. So have I been buying some recently? Oh, yeah. Man, October has just been a good time to buy. So is October 25 going to suck? We'll see. But yeah, I've been trying my best to get in heavier back here. Doesn't mean I'm still not getting in, but the best way to offset capital gains is to hold for longer than a year, if you can. But at a certain point, I mean, I'll tell you this. Let's go to NVIDIA, for example. Just for an example. At a certain point, you know, if you buy in something, let's just say this is $10, and then within a year it 10x's, even though it didn't here, it eventually did. I think if something is going 10x within a year, who cares what the capital gains tax is? It's okay to take profits there, because then it's overextended anyways. And so at a certain point, I'm like, yeah, I'm okay paying taxes, because it is not normal for anything to 10x within a year. That's what crypto has done. So just be ready for some of those capital gains, and make sure you are, make sure that they're taxing the right amount, not the full amount, because if you were holding anything for more than a year, then that should be taxed less. All right, done with the capital gain stuff. Sorry that went on longer, but I think it's important to know. As far as Fetch, let's take a look at the AI. The AI coin has AI in the name, so you know that's going to do great. Trend line invalidated. Let's delete that. Where did Fetch go? Got to the 100-day moving average, or 100-week. Whoa. Let's take a look at the daily. Yeah, it got below the dailies, got to the former all-time high. Fetch might be a dollar cost average guy in here. Look at how those moving averages just got sniped by that wick. And I like these wicks. This is a bullish hammer. You don't have to memorize all the candles. It's a stupid thing to memorize, even though I've tried before. I feel like it's mostly a waste of time. But here's the important thing. See that strong wick underneath? See these moving averages? People are buying here. And the momentum's still up. Higher lows, moving average, momentum still up. I don't hate Fetch here. But again, think about Fetch has a $3 billion market cap. Can Fetch go 10x from here? Be worth $13? Maybe. Just some things to consider. What other altcoins? Jasmy, I get people commenting on Jasmy once in a while. Look at that doji on the weekly. Ugh. Let's add on our buy sell signal again, because I've been seeing sell signals spawning in. Not on this one yet. So a little bit undecided, but as far as Jasmy's concerned, it's holding on to that 0.5 fib. Wasn't able to, and guys, this has been the same story across alts and miners. The strong moves we had, whatever fib it wasn't able to take, its prices have been coming down for support at the lower fib. So I don't hate dollar cost averaging at some of these spots. Okay, that's the 50-day moving average. Wick down, look at that snipe buy. Wick down to the 100 and people were like, yep, and remade the 0.5 into support. That's why wicks are important. And if you would add all the time in the world on your hands, you could have put in a buy order there. I don't put buy orders in on moving averages. They're always changing. I don't have that time. I look for fibs. So if you were back here and you're like, I'm going to be patient, you can set a buy order on Robinhood and Coinbase for the next lower fib, and you can find those yourself. And so what happened last time with Jasmine and some of these coins? Wasn't able to take those moving averages, those fibs, came down support at the next one. Wasn't able to take it. Weaker move here. Lost support, regained support. 382, it loves it. So I'd say prices in here are pretty good for Jasmine. Any other altcoins you would like for me to do technical analysis on? I'll do another recap. Let's take a look at Cardano. I want to make sure all you guys get your money's worth here. Even though you're not paying me anything, that's okay. Just happy to talk crypto with you guys. Right? Cardano, not able to hold the 618, down to the 0.5. May come down here. I like this support, the 200-day moving average in this price action more than it is here. But if you love Cardano, I don't hate dollar cost averaging in here. But if you're waiting for more value, 61 cents is good. Again, recapping because we have more people in the chat, more people watching. Keep these drops in perspective. If you believe the top is coming, okay, let's go back to Bitcoin. I'll show you where the Fibonacci retracement tool has the next price target. Again, Fibonacci tools right here. You draw from the macro former high to low. Make sure your chart's on log. Take your fib, go to settings, take it off log. You put it on log to look at price areas between the former high and low. But for price targets, you take it off log. The 2618's at 155. We just took the 1618. We lost the 1618, albeit briefly. Okay, we're still in this ascending channel. Wick down to the 50-day moving average. We're back in the ascending channel. Okay, the channel's still valid. And where's the price right now? It's at the double top trend line from 2021. Okay, I could have gone to the weekly and shown that way quicker, but regardless, this double top trend line is where we are at right now. So keep that in perspective. And these big wick moves down, last time we had this much fear in the market, that was here. There was a wick down and then boom, it was retaken. And I believe that was the 50-week moving average it actually hit down there. Yep. We hit the 50-week moving average. Now this is a doji. What does doji mean? Undecided. Could go up or down. We don't know yet. But if it goes down further, you kind of want to see 90K hold if we are getting more bearish. But if it does get more bearish, if crypto anytime soon gets near 74K, its former top, the 200-day moving average, I am not missing that opportunity to put in a lot more money into altcoins or miners. Because if crypto falls, what would that percent be? Roughly speaking. 30%, that's what we had in August. We had a 30% drop in August. Okay. Map that for you right here. 30% drop. If crypto was to fall 30%, not saying it's going to, but if it did, I would not miss that opportunity at the 200-day moving average. And again, these things can happen on the way up. Look at 2017. These 30 to 40% drops, 7 of them. So that's why I'm not worried. I've been in here since 2017. I'm battle tested. 2021, this is pretty nice. just some baby 15 to 20% drops, 130%, whatever. This is right before the top. Think of it this way. This 30% drop was right before the top, right before alt season. Imagine getting shaken out during this drop right before alt season starts, when altcoins were exploding 10x. We've had a lot of 20% drops, 15% drop, whatever. And again, speaking of alt season, just circling back to things we talked about, we had an 11% move down in dominance, roughly. 11%. If we zoom way out and look at some targets of where dominance could get to, let's try that again. We're talking about 3 times a stronger move. 3 times. So all that just happened, this right here, we could get 3 times the strength of a move in all season. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Mitchell McGregor, thanks for doing this for us. Happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. I'm not making any money off YouTube. Just hit 1,000 subs. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I just bought a new microphone. Still working out the kinks. I'm going to say this again. I said it at the beginning. I appreciate your guys' comments. Let me know if there's any issues in the audio or visual. Got a new mic, and there's a filter circle piece in front of it. It was sort of muffling my voice or making it sound quieter. So I moved that out of the way. I'm practically eating the damn mic right now. And on my computer's input, it is dialed all the way up. And so maybe I have to return this mic. I don't know. But actually, I spent some money on a nice new mic. And so it kind of sucked to see that the sound didn't come out great. I didn't have time to check it. I make the videos sometimes. I get a workout in. I wake up half hour earlier for you guys. I get my workout in, get coffee, shower, and then I do a video and I upload it. I'm not able to recheck it, and then I get the comments, the sound is low. I'm like, damn it. So hopefully this sounds better. I'll go back and check it. I have time now, and we won't have that issue again. So I appreciate you guys doing this. Happy to do this channel. There's too much brain rot, as the teenagers I coach like to say. There's too much brain rot out there. And so many crypto channels with unrealistic price targets. I hate seeing friends and family, hardworking people lose money. And so I'm just trying to add a conservative perspective. And I'm happy to do that for free. So appreciate all of you being here. It's cool. And plus, there's a lot of toxic crypto communities. I don't know why people have to be so toxic in the world of crypto, all because they disagree. I want to have a channel and a community where we're just talking, sharing ideas, and being constructive. Rainbow chart, we didn't really get into this earlier, but let's get into it. I've been targeting those orange zones. Okay, again, we were above the peak. We got into the dark red, reddish orange. Where's the orange zones here? Look at that first orange, 155K. You guys know that's the 2618. And again, that's give or take. So the 2618 fib is 155K. I'll show that again. But it doesn't mean we can't wick up higher in between. And something else I think about is, compared to 4 years ago, we've had inflation. Our dollars are worth 20% less than 4 years ago. So might we get a price target 20% higher because our dollars are worth 20% less? Something I'm thinking about. And by the way, 20% higher is around 185K, if you were wondering. So that's what I'd be looking at. Let's take a look at, are there any other altcoins to do? We talked about SWI, AVAX, Chainlink, XRP, Doge. Let me just go back to Doge, because I know there's a guy who likes to watch these videos. I know he's going to come back and he's going to be pissed if I don't look at Doge. Doge, we talked about the 786 being an area where in 2017 there was a lot of altcoins that did well. Then in 2021, only got up to the 786. Bitcoin Cash XRP being two of them. So I said any altcoins that did well last time, you might want to take some profits at the 786. Not that it can't go higher, but what happened? Doge got up to the 786. Now, it's coming down to this fib, the 618, 100-day moving average. If you love Doge and you think it can go to $1.20, cool, great. $1.20, give or take, is the 1618. That's the price target. If you really believe in Doge and you think it can make new highs, $1.16, $1.20. I'm just going to say $1.20 it's a nice round number. But that's a 4X from here. A 4X for Doge. If you really love Doge and you want to be conservative, where's a 4X for Doge? Well, that'd be $180 billion. Do you believe Doge can be worth $180 billion? Me personally, I don't. Not saying it can't get there, but 45 times 4 is 180. 45 times 2 is 90. Multiply that times 2 again. 2 times 2, 4. Okay, 180 billion. That would be an absolute peak for Doge, in my opinion. I would not be looking much higher than that. And guys, it's funny. Think of the price targets people were saying a week ago. They seem kind of unbelievable. And it's like, this might be decent profit-taking area. Some of those price targets might hit, but when you see people calling for $20 Doge, $100 XRP, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen this next cycle in 2025. Hate to break it to you, but we don't have hyperinflation in order to get those prices that high. So let's take a look at Solana. And then we have to take a look at the ETH Bitcoin pair. Solana. I've been hearing people increasingly trash Solana recently, which probably means that it's getting ready to go up. Look at that. A couple things going on. I like this a lot. So Solana got up to its former all-time high, got rejected, came down. This is why we sometimes keep these charts, these trend lines and channels on. Came down to the 200-day moving average and its former channel. I could see Solana exploding from here. I think this is a good area if it is going to bounce where it could really rip up. Now it hasn't turned around yet. Curious what the stochastic RSI says on the weekly. On the daily, it's low. That's good. On the weekly, yeah, it's heading down. The candle body might rest here and it might wick to the 50-day at around 150. That'd be something to look for because this still can continue downwards. It could, or it could come back up. You never know. Here you might think it's flipping up and then it just turns over. But again, bullish hammer candle. That's a strong looking candle. This move reminds me of Tesla. Before Tesla had its giant move recently. Descending trend line. Okay. Tesla had a fake out. Came back down under that trend line. Came up to the fib. And what happened? Let's put this on the daily. Came down to the moving averages. That trend line has support. The lower end of this channel. And then boom. Just took off. Okay. So when we have supports converging, trend line, moving averages, channel, when we have supports converging, I start feeling foaming at the mouth. Foaming at the mouth bullish. With rabies and everything. So we have the channel. You call this a descending trend line. We have the moving average. I like that area. If you like Solana. People have been saying 1,000 Solana. Hey, if you believe in Solana, whether you believe it can 5x, 2x, whatever, I don't hate it here. I think it looks great. Any others? Talked about Chainlink. Let's take a look at Pepe. Let's go into, I want to do this. I want to take a look at some meme coins, some lesser known altcoins. Pepe, now available on Robinhood. So Pepe, very strong move. Where could Pepe get to in a patient world? I think it has further downside to go. If Pepe gets to this 236 area, here we drew a fib from the low to the high. That's why it looks different. But you see the moving averages on the daily, 236, 40 is 1177. Don't hate it there. Okay. And Pepe and Bonk, in my opinion, are like this cycle's Doge and Shib. So, as far as price targets, I believe it could 7x from here, get the 50 billion, because crypto's stupid like that. Where's Bonk right now? 2 billion. This one reminds me of Shib from last time. Let's take a look at Bonk. Let's get into the degenerate altcoins. Where's Bonk at? At the 200-day moving average. It got under that 786. So let's make sure our fib's on log scale. It is great. Probably got to the 1618 here. Let's see where it got when we take it off log scale. Look at that, 1618. You look at charts enough, you already know. It got up to the 1618 and then is sold off. Damn. So how much of a sell-off has this been? 60%? If you like Bonk at all, just look in the past. Not horrible. Right now it is holding on the daily. It is holding support at the, well, our fib changed because we took it off log. It is holding support at the 786 in the 200-day. I don't hate Bonk here, but you might be able to get it at this lower fib. 402285. There was a couple altcoins requested last time. Benki. Benki's at a decent area. I think I charted this one. Why isn't it showing up? Were we on Coinbase? Yes. All right, cool. Benki, it's at those moving averages. Came down to the 200 and is below its 382. So Benki here. Now you can wait for a buy signal. You can wait for a positive flip up. You can't always catch bottoms, but I look at it like a profit sandwich. I don't need to get the very bottom and the very top. If I can get 80% in the middle, I'm happy. I don't think Benki is that bad looking here for value. We haven't talked about D&T in a while. Dead project altcoin. Okay, this thing always seems to 10x every cycle from its bottoms, or at least get up to 50 cents. Where does that magic internet money come in? It comes in from somewhere. And then retail ends up chasing it. So guys, we're seeing across the board, look at this, at the moving averages. Okay, I don't hate getting more here. We're seeing across the board altcoins get at good value moving averages. Probably going to be wrapping this up in a little bit, so please comment below if there are any altcoins you'd like for me to take a look at, whether it's on Coinbase or Robinhood. There was another one. What was the other altcoin we talked about recently? In my last video, we talked about Ondo. Somebody really liked Ondo. I don't have any Ondo. Full transparency. Yeah, it got up to the 1618, came back down to its former all-time high. Okay, some of these that moved up big, coming down a little bit. And as far as the lower cap altcoins, keep in mind when these truly run, if they do, look at when they run, okay, or when they peak out. Some of them don't really rip to the very end. So just keep that in perspective. Alt season, not here yet. Bitcoin dominance, not in the lower mid 40 percentile yet. This is where we're looking for when alt season's finishing. As far as what dominance does here, okay, we'll see. What's it doing with the 20-week moving average? That was support, kind of acting as resistance, Similar to a bullish hammer. Is this a bearish hammer? We'll have to look that up, but we have a buy signal. Are we going to get dominance coming back down? Pretty please. Hopefully. But I talked about Ondo and another one. Forget. V-Chain, that was another one I wanted to look at. How's V? We're seeing some good deals out there, guys. So another nice candle. If you're looking for deals before alt season, if you're a believer in the crypto cycle and alt season, okay, it would have been nice to get it down here. Got sniped at that 382 at about 4.3 cents, okay, but got rejected here off the 0.5. That's the weekly. Let's take a look at the daily, okay. Daily, okay, showing a better, different story here. I don't hate dollar cost averaging here in some of these altcoins. Alpha, thanks, dude. Making these lives part of my Friday routine. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Happy for you to join us. Happy to be with you. I actually finished my coffee while it's hot and warm today. Last time I was sad. I made a good coffee, and it just sat there and got cold while I didn't shut up and just kept talking. So, sorry for the sipping noises. Talked about the mic issue. The input's on full blast. I'm practically eating the mic. Sorry for any of the sipping noises. The other funny thing, this is just my self-conscious speaking out loud here, but when I'm checking the sound at the start of a live and I can hear myself breathing in and out through my nose, I'm like, oh God. So I have to find some copyright-free music or something so you don't have to hear me breathing in and out through my nose. What other altcoins can we look at? We'll just go down the list here, make sure we're covering any. Oh, whiff. That was the one. Dog whiff hat. Absolutely stupid, useless altcoin now available on Robinhood. How is dog whiff hat doing? Okay, you can see it got up to its former all-time high. Let's check the fib. It's probably the 382 if I had to guess. Yep, got to the 382. So if you like whiff, if you like dog whiff hat, I don't hate it here. Now it is making lower lows, lower highs. Don't love that. Could come back down to $1.50. But if you were sad you missed out on whiff, well, guess what? It just fell off a cliff. So might be some dollar cost average plays for some degenerate altcoins out there. You could throw 100 at whiff, but it doesn't have confirmation that it's going to the upside yet. Not on the daily. I would at least wait for some confirmation. And again, I look at the moving averages. I took the where are my moving average? Oh, it's so new it doesn't even show up. I look at my moving averages on the weekly, the fibs, and then the buy sell signals. That is a massive sell signal. But again, this is a bullish hammer, big bullish hammer on the weekly. So do you want to buy it at this deep value fib? If you like whiff, I don't have any whiff. I'm probably not going to buy any whiff, but I don't know. Some of these charts, it's a completely stupid, useless altcoin. But you got to laugh at crypto. And if you're just doing educated gambling and you're going off charts, you might say, hey, great value. I'll buy some whiff. And why can't it go up to its 1618? Where would whiff's 1618 be? If we were buying whiff right now at $2, it's 1618's at 7. All right. Maybe it goes there higher. I don't know. But the fact it's already number 60, I'd want to see it do a bit more, something like a 10x or so. Let's just go down a little bit more. We haven't looked at SCI in a while. That's one available on Coinbase. Let's take a look at Aerodrome too. Yeah, you can see the last time I looked at SCI, it made another low. So SCI right now is on its 382. And it's below its daily moving averages. So I'd be willing to wait for buy signals after a big move like this down. Okay, take a look, even just from that support. I know it's not the full move, but 40% down, a full move would be the full movement down 50%. Okay, we're getting a 50% retracement. So if this was an altcoin you liked, it's down 50%. Okay, if you're not buying these areas, if this is your altcoin, something's wrong with you. If you're like, damn it, I bought it here and then it fell 30% more, yeah, you're getting more of a discount. And if you're not buying here, you should have never bought it here. If you're not willing to buy at much lower prices and discounts and fear, okay, we have opportunities right now, guys. So many people a week ago believed in alt season. Where are those people now? If you believe in alt season, as we've done in prior cycles, this might be one of your last best chances. That's why I got this chart up here. Shout out to this guy. Hopefully it's his chart. Want to give credit where it's due. But if you believe in alt season, okay, we're having a dip moment here. Maybe it dips further. I don't know. I wouldn't want to miss out on some of these prices. Let's take a look at Aerodrome. I pissed off some people when I talked about Aerodrome because I said, you know what? It's a newer altcoin. Yes, the research looks great, but you know what I like to say? Research looks great on every altcoin. All the things they say about it are all fantastic and wonderful. Sunshine, rainbows, unicorns, ponies, all that. Do I want to do low to high? Do I want to do high to low? Let's do high to low first. Okay. We have, where's it at? Well, it's at, this is the daily. Got to the 100-day moving average. Got sniped pretty good, but it's kind of losing support here at the 786. Got above the 888 to its former all-time high about there. But if you like Aerodrome, 200-day moving average, good price action back here, 618 fib. If you like Aerodrome, $121, I don't think that'd be bad. So that was one that, and I was saying at the time, I didn't want to buy. It's too rich for my blood, or is moving up way too quick. I'd rather buy when it's at a discount. Okay, when we're getting extended like this, I'm not looking to buy. Here, my dollar cost averaging brain is turning back on. So ICP, we haven't taken a look at that one in a bit. Okay, Internet Computer, great name. Coming down to the lower areas of its fib, holding the moving averages. Don't hate it here. But in my opinion, I'd be taking a look. You want to see that positive flip. Buy signals, or, you know, you can just buy the fibs if you want to set a buy order. You can be patient, see if it hits a $7.74. Not for ICP, but for any of these. And I do my best to show you how to add on these indicators. You can wait for stochastic RSI to flip positive. Okay, buy signals, fibs, stochastic. There are a few areas. It's up to you how you want a dollar cost average in, what your plan or strategy is. I'm just looking for confirmation. Again, I don't need to buy the very bottom. I'm looking for confirmation to the upside through one of those methods. Or I might say, damn the confirmation. I'll set a buy order for here. If I get it, great. If I don't, then I'm buying the confirmation, the V, buying it on the way up when it is starting to turn around. Because this might just continue to fall down here. So those are some things I'm looking for. There was another thing I wanted to show you guys. We talked about this briefly last time. What's the one I haven't really charted? Is that the one? Okay, yeah, I haven't really charted that. Something else, there is another indicator. A buddy of mine showed me this one, and I love this indicator, called the Ultimate RSI by Lux Algo. I love this one on the monthly. Just something to keep in perspective. When we have these moves, just something to keep in perspective. And Obviously, we don't have to come up here. Okay. You can see the ultimate RSI, some ultimate bearish divergence slightly, but we're getting there. How much of a move is left? I don't know, but I'm just saying there's room to run here. There's room to run. Whether Bitcoin goes another 50% higher, I don't know, but where are we going to be at when we peak? Okay. When the ultimate RSI peaked before, that was the top of 2017. When it peaked before, that was not the very peak. That was back here when we had alt season. We did have that secondary peak, even though the RSI got a little bit lower. You can see that. There's another indicator I wanted to show you. Oh, pi cycle. I know you guys like the pi cycle indicator. Be careful because we do not know. Is it Bitcoin pi cycle? Where's my pi cycle indicator? Why am I not seeing it? But something to know is that the pi cycle indicator does not have to trigger. Why can I not find the pi cycle? It's probably right in front of my face. Well, we'll just look for it again. Did I accidentally uncheck it? No, that's not the indicator. Sometimes you got to do this. Sometimes you got to. Bitcoin. Oh, I do have it. What was going on? No. Bitcoin. We just looked at that one. Which one was it? Whoa, not that one. Did the indicator go away? I could have sworn I never unchecked it. Bitcoin pi cycle. I wonder if the indicator went away or if it became hidden. Because sometimes that'll happen. That will happen. Pi cycle. I want to get that damn pi cycle for you guys. We've talked about this before. Okay, not that one. All right. We may have lost the pi cycle indicator. That's new to me. That is new to me. I have not seen an indicator disappear like that. Yeah, maybe it went private. But we don't have any other pi cycle indicators. Sorry, I'm just trying to find this for you. I guess this will work. This will work close enough. There we go. It doesn't have the moving averages showing up, which was nice about the last pi cycle indicator, because when it had the moving average, we could see that we touched it here and here, but in the pi cycles tops here, it went above the moving average. So I'm sort of sad that that pi cycle indicator disappeared. That's a bummer. That was a very popular one. It's probably why it's made private now, because heck, get people to pay for that. But I don't know why it's not showing up. Pi cycle. Sorry, I know I'm getting kind of sidetracked here, but just kind of shocked that moved away. Oh well. Anyways, I think we don't have any other comments for altcoins or other TA, so we'll be wrapping it up here shortly. Oh my God. Let's at least take a look at the ETH Bitcoin pair. Bitcoin dominance getting lower, or spiking again. So ETH Bitcoin going to be getting lower. Do like this candle on the weekly. But as I've talked about, moving averages, it needs to get above the 50-week moving average, okay? Needs to get above. Last time it got above Like here, it was challenging it once it was finally made into support, June of 2020. Okay, December 2020, again, tested as support, was right before alt season when we had about 4 months. Okay, and then it got up here. Now, it didn't hit this trend line that here I look at it as kind of a fake out. When we draw a trend line here, connect everything. Didn't hit the trend line at alt season, so keep that in mind. But just something to think about. If Bitcoin gets to that 2618 at 155K, okay, we talked about 155K if that's the top. It's at the bottom of the orange band, which would line up with the rainbow chart cycles, lines up with the 2618. Bitcoin would have a market cap of 3 trillion, around 3 trillion. So if, just bear with me for a second, okay, you can see if it gets 50% higher, okay, it's at 100K roughly and 2 trillion. If it was at 50K, this would be a trillion. If we were at 150K, it'd be around 3 trillion. Great. If Ethereum Bitcoin pairing gets up to this 0.5, that means Ethereum compared to Bitcoin would have half its value. So let's just, in an ideal scenario, if Bitcoin is at the 2618 at 150K, worth 3 trillion, and Ethereum is at this ETH Bitcoin 0.5 trend line, if it's there, where would Ethereum be worth? 1.5 trillion. That's what the 0.5 is for. It'd be worth 1.5 trillion. Where would Ethereum be at 1.5 trillion? That's about a 3 to a 4x. What's between a 3 to a 4x? Well, 3x from here is a little bit over 10,000. A 4x would be somewhere around 12K, 13K. Where is Ethereum at around 10 to 12K? Just something to think about, guys. We have this fib here at the 2618 at 11,000. Seems unbelievable, but to me, if Ethereum's getting anywhere near that 2618, this is the most bullish scenario at the peak. If Ethereum's anywhere close to 10K, 11K, the 2618, that's more than likely the top. Probably is. So that is what I'm looking for alt season. And as I talked about with Bitcoin dominance, it went down 11%. To get to our target for ultimate alt season, it needs to get down 33% from the peak. That is a move that's 3 times stronger. See how this lines up? So I'm going to call it there. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you for all the subscribers. Whether you're watching this live or in replay, you can comment below, whether on this video or another one. Comment below any altcoins, miners that you would be interested for me to do technical analysis on. I'm going to have a little bit extra time off over the holidays. Whether family is in town or not will dictate how many videos I'm able to put out. But if I can put out extra videos, I will. If I'm gone for a few days, you'll know why. And if I don't see or hear from you till after the holidays, I want you all to have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. Hope you're all doing well. As we talked about today, put a nice bow on it. There's fear in the markets. There are discounts out there in Bitcoin mining stocks and in altcoins. There are discounts out there. I'm showing you guys how I chart, and I'm trying to use charting tools that you can replicate. I do not recommend buying at certain areas if you can't replicate some of these indicators or moving averages, whether it be the EMAs, the fibs. You guys see how I draw fibs, high to lows. We have buy sell signals, okay, moving averages, fibs, buy sell signals. We have all that. So you can replicate what we're doing here and make it better than what I'm doing. That's what I hope for. But there are deals out there right now. Could prices go lower? Sure. But there are deals re-entering the crypto market right now. You might not want to miss out on these opportunities. because these dips, if you miss them, you're buying at a premium later on. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Take care.